trusted betting platform and your #1 source for everything football. BetOnline has every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads to bet on during games. Think you know your stuff? Get in on our $200,000 mega contest and pick 5 games against the spread every week for your chance at weekly prizes and a share of $200,000. When the game's over, head on over to our online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker, or unwind with over 150 slot games. Head to the website today to get in on the action. Bet online. The game starts here.
Who that say they gonna beat them Saints? Who that? Who that? Who that say they gonna beat them Saints? Who that? Who that? Who that say they gonna beat them Saints? Who that?
Yeah. Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Long as I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. Sports Coma, yeah, this is where we do that. Where we do that, 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 Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Sports Coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Somebody please better help. Running this thing like elf. I thank God every day I'm not a felt. Go to YouTube live with Big Q and the guys. If you ain't ride or die, the bandwagon get flipped. Been marching in, that was way for the ring. I was yelling out your shame for the championship. Bucking on town, duck down. Falcons, pluck, get shut down. Panthers ain't much touchdown. The vision really belong to us now. So much hate on the Saints, you could probably tell. Ever since Bounty Gate hit the NFL, when things seem fishy, then you probably smell the crooked referees on Roger Goodell. Yeah, probably like this, and I'm a who that. Every day I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. It's the Sports Coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like this, and I'm a who that. It's the Sports Coma, this is where we do that. You're
listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
Or your coach did, I actually don't know, likes this post about you getting traded. When you heard of that, I guess my first question is, how soon did you hear from coach?
Yeah, I haven't heard from him. I haven't talked to him. So I haven't, I don't know. I don't really know exactly what that was about. Obviously I got, social media is a beast. So it's a lot of people out there that saw it and, wondering what's going on and people reaching out. And, I haven't spoke to him.
Well, I'm surprised by that. I would think okay. Well, I would think you work together every day. So if I would say, oh shoot, I accidentally hit that, I unliked it. Now it's this huge story. Is that just kind of like what the dynamic is? That's not something that you want to hear from him?
Honestly, it's hard to comment on. I'm sure you would imagine as such, but it's one of those situations where I just keep my head down and keep doing my thing and, let the chips fall where they may as it pertains to that. But I haven't, there's been no communication with anybody from the team since that became a thing. But, it's kind of just like the weekly what's up with Tay thing. There's always some sort of drama. But at the end of the day, 1-7 doesn't create any of it. So people can say what they want, but I'm just chilling, trying to be the model for, not stirring the pot and just locking in and doing what I got to do. I
know what you're doing. You've said it many times. You are focused. You want to be out there. You talk about being a Raider. You talk about your decision to all of these things. But it's not about you. It's almost like this other narrative. So it's like one of those things where, do you believe where there's smoke, there's fire? Because it seems like there's something going on here. How much do you think, and how much does it bother you when you keep hearing these trade things? Because I would be paranoid.
Yeah, it gets annoying for sure. But it's, I'm one of those players that people like to talk about one way or the other. So thank God that he blessed me with the ability to just focus in on what I need to focus in on and not get sidetracked by any of the outside noise. So if, better than anybody, we've talked about this many times, and I feel like that's why you got respect for me. If I was the type of guy that, let certain things that people say on the outside get to me, then, I wouldn't be in a position that I am now. And I've had some ups and downs in the league, and through it all, I just try to stay like this and, do my part in that. So whatever else happens, what people are talking about, what people are tweeting, liking, whatever it is, I can't do anything about that. So I just focus on tech.
Yeah. One team that Davante Adams should want to join, just one. Yeah. What team is it?
It's the Saints. It's the Saints for me. Get back with your brother, Derek Carr, who you had an all-pro season with. right? The dude that raised you, a lot of people don't know, Keith Williams, is the receiver coach at New Orleans.
What you mean raised you? Elaborate.
Raised him. Coached him at Fresno State, was a father figure to him at Palo Alto High School in the Bay Area. Boom, boom, boom.
I need you to do something for me, James, because nobody else is going to say what you are about to say. And this is
All right, shout out to the fam. How y'all doing tonight? Big ups to y'all. Round of applause, man. Shout out to the fam. Welcome, welcome, welcome. You're now rocking with the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys, where we have intense, entertaining, educating, and enlightening sport talk from your favorite sports fam. Much love to the fam. Appreciate each and every last one of you for joining us for the stream tonight. Do me a service, fam. Please feel free to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and by all means, feel free to share the show on your social media feed. It helps out the stream here at the mighty Who Dat Nation, the great Saint Think Tank, the best. The Who Dat Nation, man. We loud and proud, the best of the professional football world. No disrespect to everybody else, man, but listen, we real deal Holyfield. We love our black and gold, man. Even when they screwing up, we still have love for them, but we'll chastise them. We will praise and chastise, because that is the balance of life, isn't it, fam? Big ups to y'all, man. Appreciate each and every last one of y'all for being in the stream. T-Mama, big ups to you, Queen. I see you out there. Pelicans, Nola, Bullet Families Travel Vlog. Big ups to you, Dana. Big ups to you. Good to see all y'all, man. OG Jerry. Big ups to you, brother. Good to see y'all, man. Much love to everybody in the stream, man. Pelican, Nola, Pete, Student, Julius, Neville. What's up, Neville? Good to see you, Tuck. Big ups. Rook 10. What's happening, Christian? Big ups to you as well. B Jizzle, what's popping, brother? Kai the Great, what's up, Kai? Brother Robinson, this thing. Carlton, much love, man. How y'all doing, man, in this thing? Appreciate each and every last one of y'all, man. Listen, this was an interesting phenomenon. What's up, L-Dub? This is an interesting phenomenon for the black and gold, you know, to have this here. Of course, started the broadcast with K and speaking to Davante Adams, man, who's a very talented wide receiver. Any team will be very privileged to have this guy. But, you know, sources say the Jets are high on him. Of course, we know that's Aaron Rodgers, and he's on the Saints wish list. The only thing is, does he fit here? And when I mean fit here, I mean a number of things insofar as the money has to work. Everything has to work properly. We all know this, fam. That's how it all goes. So anyway, let's get into some of this, man, as well. And I have this article placed here at a certain point where I wanted to pick up and kind of get into the broadcast about it. And this is what it looks like as he told K, as you heard, he was breaking it down to K. And Pierce was asked by reporters Wednesday about his involvement with the Instagram activity. He sidestepped the question. Yeah, I'm just focused on Denver. Adams' salary. Now, Adams' salary for the season is $17.5 million, with $13.5 million still owed through the end of the season. And while he's under contract for 25 and 26, his annual salary jumps to over $36 million, fam. Now, we talked about this on our Patreon stream the other day. Tuesday, shout out to the Patreon champions. We covered this as well as the All 22 for the Saints and Falcons, as much as we could stomach watching. And we really got some good answers, didn't we, family, on that, watching that All 22. We seen everybody screw ups. You know, guys that people wasn't talking about. We seen it. We broke down the film, looked at it, man. But it was an educational experience. I watched it like 3 times, but I was looking at it, I was like, man, this is crazy. But a lot of stuff has to happen, man. We have to improve. But anyway, back to this story. Now, $36.25 million for those seasons. That's a lot of money. With such a hefty price tag, a trade partner will likely have to get Adams to agree to a restructured deal. The Jets currently have over $15 million in salary cap space. The Saints have 3.2 plus, according to the NFL Players Association records. Adams missed the first game as a member of the Raiders on Sunday with a hamstring suffered in practice. Thursday, it marked the first regular season game that Adams has missed since 21 with the Packers. The injury is expected to sideline Adams on a week-to-week basis, league sources told Schefter over the weekend. So far this season, 18 catches for 209 and a touchdown through 3 games. He has 890 receptions for almost 11,000 yards with 96 touchdowns in 11 NFL seasons. So a very talented player who can help the black and gold, because as we addressed family on these other streams we talked about on the Patreon. We made mention of the fact that the Saints are lacking in a third weapon, aren't we? We have Rashid Shaheed, we have Chris Olave, who we really use those guys a lot. And really, if you take a look at what we've been doing in terms of the third wide receiver is basically non-existent. I mean, and the third guy is supposed to be Cedric Wilson Jr., A.T. Perry. We see Mason Tipton out there, but we really hadn't gotten very much from a third wide receiver. So a lot of people are kind of thinking about that like that. But that's why there's a poll question there for the family members to answer. Please feel free to chime in. Over 70 people have answered it thus far. Should the Saints trade for Raiders wide receiver Davante Adams? That's in the poll right now. An overwhelming amount of people says 69% of the pollers says yes. Only 23 say no, and 9% says address other needs for the team. So very interesting. If you didn't get your word in there, please feel free to jump in there. Now, I kind of just to look into it, I played some of what James Jones was talking about with his guys. What we have to understand, man, we start looking at some of this stuff is quite obviously that the numbers have to work. This is Davante Adams' contract according to Over the Cap. And what's interesting about it is, like we said, in 24 season, $13.5 million is owed, kind of is factored in from the games he's played, the rest of the games remaining on the season. So the thing is with him, if the Saints were to acquire him, a restructure is needed. And really, the Saints ain't working with a lot of money. And the thing that really kind of quells the deal in acquiring him is the fact that the Saints, it'll go against the philosophy of what Mickey Loomis was basically telling the Black and Gold Nation, how he wanted to work the cap back to the black. And, you know, there are other players currently on the New Orleans Saints team that are looking for contracts. Alvin Kamara is running his ass off. He has multiple injuries, still playing hurt. And I personally believe that Alvin Kamara should be re-signed with the Saints. I think he earned it, just like Cam Jordan earned it. He's a couple hundred yards shy of taking the all-time Saints rushing record that's currently being held by Mark Ingram to be the all-time. He's going to catch that and then take that to a level probably we ain't going to see a guy get to in a while. But I believe he deserves his money, and it would be a weird signal to see the Saints acquire this gentleman and don't give, and handle suit with Alvin. But anyway, outside of that, look at the contract here for some of the family members. Davante Adams' talent can't be denied. What he'll do to the offense, he'll balance your offensive rump, give you another phenomenal veteran wide receiver, and really kind of set everything properly. But look what you have to pay. Currently, he's 32 years old. He turns 33 in December. He has a $13.5 million that you will owe for this year, and then it's a balloon payment that almost doubles when it turns to 2025. It goes up to 35.6 mil, and then in 26 it balloons an extra million to 36.6. So it's an aging player who have some injuries with an escalating agreement that went from 3 to 6 to 16.8 to boom 35.6 and then 36.6. My goodness. That definitely is not the path that the Saints want to travel down, especially if your name is Mickey Loomis. But then again, if Derek Carr asks Dennis Allen, hey, can we make this happen? Do you believe that Dennis Allen then takes this to Mickey Loomis? Does Mickey Loomis tell him, no, we can't afford him? It's Mickey Loomis. Let me ask you guys this. Do you guys believe that Mickey Loomis is a responsible cap managing VP/general manager? Easy question to the 250 plus in here. What do you guys think? Is Mickey Loomis a responsible cap managing general manager? Has he ever been that? No, hell no. Hell no. What's up, Jamaica? Hell nah. David says, nah, Loomis tripping. Hell no, says Pete. Yes, indeed. Yeah. What's up, Cy? Yeah, man, that's the point of the matter. Is like this because of the gambler nature and the irresponsible nature of our current general manager Mickey Loomis. This is very real. He could pull off this move and manipulate this contract. Now, responsibly, I will tell you, should we do this move? Well, if it's about winning Super Bowls and the timeline is now, like we've talked about, this move would coincide with that, but it'll hurt some things with the salary cap. Are they going to go all in on this here? Right? Will they go all in on this? That's the thing that'll be interesting to see what the Saints do. Now, this is his contract currently, and of course they will have to restructure it. And then, of course, let's go to Sport Track, because Sport Track didn't show you some other information here. Let me kind of superimpose this for the family members so y'all can see here what Sport Track numbers are indicating. Now, this is Sport Track, which is another good resource to use when you're doing your investigative work on contracts. As you can see here, if you look at the Sport Track, you can just see off top that the numbers in terms of his contract here are basically the same, but Sport Track does add in the opt-outs. So if you look between 24 and 25, there's a potential opt-out according to Sport Track, where you opt out after the 24 year before the 25 year, and they'll be, it'll be basically a 3-year deal at 67.7 plus mil with a 15.7 mil dead cap hit for them. So it's all indicative. And what I'm trying to do is give you guys all of the resources in terms of the money. So because it makes everything mean something, doesn't it? And of course, this is what currently, according to Over the Cap, the Saints team salary space right now is 2.7 plus. So bam, there you go. So if you look at these numbers, and if these numbers are any indication of anything that is responsible, then you'll look at the numbers and say, damn, a 13.6 or whatever it is right now contract. And then, of course, the 2 balloon payments, because it wouldn't be all that bad if you looked at it and say, okay, 13 this year and then 16 or 17 next year. No, you wish. It balloons to 35 mil. And that, to me, that is really something, man, to watch when you see something like that happen. It balloons. So how would Mickey fix it? Pretty much what Mickey would do, family, is just kick the can. He will restructure the deal and then add a ton of phantom years on it to spread it out. Now, it'll kick your ass down the line. But if it's about winning Super Bowls, is it an unforgiving move? If you're buying in on a 2-year window, the Saints want to, position themselves to play for a deep run. So I can understand a lot of the yeses. It's like, fam, Q, we need some help. The Chris Olave, Rashid Shaheed, yada, yada, yada. We don't have the third receiver. Cedric Wilson is there, but he's not. And this is no disrespect to Cedric Wilson Jr. He's the third receiver is just not a respected position right now. We're not even focusing on getting these guys involved like that. The first couple of weeks was something else. And then when teams start figuring out what the Saints was all about, we have not really added the extra layers that we thought we should have added to the offense so far. Maybe there are wrinkles coming. This is a month worth of games, so you expect Clint Kubiak at sometimes to start showing more wrinkles. In the last game we watched it, we seen a lot of extended run plays where Derek Carr turning and firing the ball down the line of scrimmage to set up players to try to, to create one-on-one matchups for players to maybe shake the defender so they can get extra yardage along the sidelines. We've seen that happen multiple times in the last game. It'll just be interesting to see how he then works this offense, because it's all about diversity and getting all these other guys involved. That's why people are pushing for that extra weapon. The Saints offense, I wouldn't be mad if they added them, but at the end of the day, would it be justified if they bought in and say, hey man, if we're trying to do a Super Bowl thing, Davante Adams makes sense. Then not to mention, we talked about Coach Keith Williams, who he loves. Keith Williams, our current wide receiver coach, is the Derek Carr factor, the Keith Williams factor. So from a cultural standpoint, to know what we got, and then you take him and mesh him in with Chris Olave and add him in, and that puts Rashid Shaheed in that slot position, it would definitely take the Saints offense to another level, the level that it was supposed to be on when Mike Thomas was healthy. So it would definitely, it's an intriguing proposition. It would definitely be fun to watch, but it'll be an expensive thing to do. Whether or not Mickey Loomis does it, man, he would be the guy. If I had to vote on it, I would say Mickey Loomis would pull the trigger on this. All it would took with Dennis Allen telling them, hey, we need to get him. Hell, we couldn't afford Derek Carr, but they still pulled the trigger and made it done. They bit the bullet. So, I mean, at the end of the day, it's just one of those things was, what are we doing here? Are we trying to compete and get a deep, playoff run here? What are we trying to do? Because Saints offense at this point really need to get other guys involved. And it has to be something on Clint Kubiak to figure out, to be honest with you, man. He got to figure it out. All right. Anyway, fam, let me keep it pushing and moving here. Let's go. And speaking of Mickey Loomis, look at this picture of Mickey Loomis, boy. Mickey Loomis looked like Father Time on this picture, man. Look how he looked. Boy, Mickey looked like you've been the president of America, boy. You look like you got the silver fox look. Mickey looking old on this picture. Damn, when the hell was this picture taken? Oh, okay, this was 2 years ago. Mickey looked all old and tired. Good Lord, Mickey. Mickey looked like he was the president of the country, man. He didn't talk to the aliens and everybody done turned his hair gray and everything is going crazy, man. Poor Mickey, man. But anyway, let's shout out to Kyle T. Mosley, man, with the Saints News Network. He wrote a really good article I want to share with you guys, man, about this. Check this out, man. Could bold trades reshape the New Orleans Saints postseason hopes, which the Davante Adams trade rumors go right along with it, doesn't it? As the injuries mount for the Saints, should the team's leadership consider trade options as the trade deadline nears? What does Brother Kyle talk about? While the 24-25 season in the NFL is still early, the Saints are grappling with the significant roster challenges early in the 24-25 season. Head coach Dennis Allen and general manager Slick Mickey Loomis, that's me. I just forgot to put the stuff in my hair. I was trying to look young. And they wouldn't let me bring it on the plane. That's a picture from England. And they told me throw it out. I was going to put it in there. I was going to have the, just salt and pepper look. Must address pressing concerns in offense, defense, and linebacker positions. Weak pass rush. Dennis Allen expressed concern about the team's lackluster pass rush following their game against the Falcons in Week 5. Starting defensive end Granderson and Young failed to record any sacks and managed only one quarterback hit on Kurt the Statue Cousins. Peyton Turner was the sole player who sacked the Falcons quarterback. I thought the Saints really, to be honest with you, they were going to get at least 4 or 5 sacks in that game because Kirk Cousins was basically a statue. So credit to the Falcons able to keep the Saints away, and they were holding their asses off, by the way. So I guess I can't give them too much credit. Pro Football Hall of Fame executive Bill Poland urges caution regarding trades before November the 7th deadline. He emphasized the importance of considering a player's fit with a team system and style of play. Quote, system of play, style of play is not a non-issue with players going from team to team. Solomon Wilcox, shout out to Solomon. He was on the stream, a year back. Today's open and drive programming continued in football systems are very different from team to team based on Poland's theory. How would a player fit the offense and defense schemes in New Orleans? Furthermore, would a player be an easy plug and play into the Saints culture? Bills legendary coach Merv Levy once told Polian, don't shake up the Pepsi bottle when you got a good thing. He was referring to the team's or unit's chemistry, finding the player with the right mentality to play fast and tough as DeMario Davis and Willie Gay would make it difficult for a team to give up via trade. Key factors for the Saints to consider. When evaluating potential trades, the Saints must consider, 1, scheme fit, whether that's offense or defense. 2, cultural alignment. 3, team chemistry. Offensive and defensive line concerns. Before we jump from that, and this makes a point too, because in credit to the Saints, because the weak pass rush was an issue, no doubt about it. It was a problem, to be honest with you. Against the Falcons, I was upset, very upset by the fact that I didn't, the Saints wasn't getting to Kirk Cousins, knocking him around. Many times he had a clean pocket. This dude, I've seen him several times just literally go through his progression play. He would cycle through and then cycle back and go back to a option. He would go through and then make the throw. Like, man, we can't let that happen, man. Dude was a statue back there. We got to knock him on his ass every chance we get. We didn't do that enough. So, I mean, that's the question. That's something that I didn't think that we would have to worry about right now, was dealing with whether or not the Saints pass rush, we would have pass rush roles. Carl Granderson and Chase Young getting funky. But really, is it so much the pass rush? Is it the interior situation? Now, Brian Bresee is doing some stuff, and we've seen Nate Shepard hustling to get around. But I'm really, to be honest with you, I'm more concerned about our run stuffing. Big Bink Saunders did come back in the game, but boy, that our interior line, man, against the run with the buck 40 plus by Barkley. And then Tyler Algieri was averaging almost 6+ yards of run on the Saints. The only reason why they didn't really bang the Saints up because the Falcons went away from that. They was trying to use Cousins. Let's move on to the offensive and defensive line concerns. Another challenge for the New Orleans is finding an offensive lineman who can excel in Kubiak's scheme. An ideal candidate must be disciplined, blocker, and agile to block well on rushing plays. Which team will be willing to exchange with the Saints, especially not contending by the trade deadline? The Saints' defensive interior needs help to generate pressure. Only rookie Brian Bresee has recorded a sack this season. After 4 games, Shepard has 0 sacks and only 1 QB hit in 4 games. Should Loomis and Allen explore trade options for an effective interior presence? Also, could Allen's venture into increasing Cam's usage in the interior? That should be something that's investigated. We thought that might be something that the Saints should really use to increase interior pass rusher. We just hadn't seen it like we need to see it, man. And it's definitely going to be interesting to watch. Saints playoff aspirations. 5 weeks remain before the trade deadline, so the Saints must evaluate their postseason chances. The pressure is mounting as the Who Dat Nation eagerly awaits a second Lombardi trophy, potentially won at home in February. How about that? While it may be premature to make significant roster moves, the Saints leadership must carefully consider their options. The coming weeks will determine whether the team becomes a buyer or seller at the NFL trade deadline. Can New Orleans be in a position before the trade deadline to become a market player with another NFL team? We shall see. Shout out to Brother Kyle. Did put some interesting thoughts there for the black and gold that we have to watch out for, right? Like especially over the last couple of games, that has been problematic in here and has contributed largely to failure, big time. You know, even though we talk about the spotting of 14 points against the Falcons, remember the gashing run that Saquon Barkley had against the Saints, if we care to remember that back in, what was it, a couple of weeks ago against the stanking Philadelphia Eagles? Nah, no disrespect to my Philly people, but y'all know y'all shouldn't have won that game, right? Y'all know that. And the Buccaneers beat down the Eagles and, the bald Eagles, as we call them, beat them down last week, showing you like, hey, y'all really not doing nothing. The Saints really should have won that game. That was a game where the Saints just did not do what we were supposed to do. And the Falcons was another wretched game. That's why people were so animated, let's just say that, about how the contest ended, because the Saints gave up 14 points. That's the only reason why they were in the game, and then turn around, get the lead back, only to pass interference the guy at the other end to set up Young Ho-Koo for a field goal for the Falcons to leave out of there with a win. So it's really, really problematic. Let's just say it like that, just to be, kind of on the cool side, man. I got some animated words for the ass, but at the end of the day, I just think that all this needs to be looked at. The defense was, and people told me, Q, the defense was going to be the reason why the Saints, it's going to be defense first and then the offense, blah, 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 blah. And I was saying, fam, we got an expensive offense here, headed by $150 million quarterback. The guy got to step up. And a couple of weeks he did step up, did his thing. And like I said, to say about Carr, is that he doesn't know the system like that to be relied upon. And I said that early on. The Saints have to run the ball. But I've also noted that the way to beat the Saints is by stopping them from running the ball and forcing Derek Carr to beat them. That's not going to bode well early. Just to be honest with you. Like, if you even studied the film, even to my what you call them, my the car fanboys out there, the supporters of Carr. Even they can't deny the film. If you go back and watch this Atlanta Falcon film, the throw to Rashid Shaheed, the one-hand attempt to Rashid Shaheed to one-hand the ball in the end zone, that ultimately end up the guy pokes it out. He was trying to one-hand it. The pass, when people are like, why ain't you put two on it? That's true. He should, when you touch the ball, commonsensically, it says when you touch the ball and the receiver has the ball, he got to make the catch. But if you study the film, Juwan Johnson cut in and he turned right in. He was 2 yards off the end zone. Carr didn't even look at him. He didn't even progress. He didn't go through his progression plate. That's a bad habit that I've noticed from watching old film of him where he'll get stuck on one side of the field. He does that a lot. Now, throughout the game, he broke the norm and he was looking, and that's when he looked a lot smoother. When he did look at his entire field view, you can see all your options. When you stare down, you cut half the field off. But on that throw, it was an easier throw. Juwan Johnson had a safety. I think it was Bates. Correct me if I'm wrong. Was there, but it was Juwan Johnson at the 2-yard line. If the throw was made, all he had to do was power through that safety for that touchdown there. That changed the game. But what I'm saying is, at the end of the day, they're going to study the film and look at the same thing we study. And when we look at, we see all of that. We also see how pathetic Trevor Penning was. Penning was awful in the game. He was funky, stank, dumb. He was awful in that game. Go look at the tape. He was pushed on his ass. And all of that. He was funk and trash in that game, Trevor Penning. He was awful. He was one of several Saints that were awful in that game. And many times when the Saints try to run to the right side, that's why they didn't have a lot of success running to that side, because Trevor Penning couldn't hold up. It's just he has to improve. That was a very bad game. I didn't like that. The film shows how terrible he was. But anyway, some of these issues, you can't have this against the Chiefs. We got a Super Bowl Chief team, the defending Super Bowl champions, that's undefeated, that we have to deal with. And the weak pass rush, all that stuff that has to improve. Cam Jordan being used more inside is something I thought that Dennis Allen would experiment with more. That's something we have to fix big time, because we got to keep pressure on Pat Mahomes boys. No quarterback likes to see that pressure on them, especially that pressure right up the center. None of them like that. We have to put pressure on Mahomes. We can't give Patrick Mahomes the Kirk Cousins treatment, to let him sit back there and go through all of his progressions. In the words of Mo from the Stooges, we'll get moidalized. We'll get moidalized. just what it is. So anyway, yeah, there are offense concerns. We got a ton of backups in the interior, man, and we didn't really get the push that we was looking for. So it's going to be very interesting to see where we are in terms of fixing some of these issues and moving forward. It'll be very interesting, because we are basically, it's getting kind of hectic, man. It's getting kind of hectic. I don't know. That's why this thing is cooking for the Saints. Hey, man, we might need to go ahead on and grab a hold of Davante Adams, man, and do what we need to do to kind of bring him here. And like I said, man, if they're desperate enough, I could see old Mickey Loomis pulling the trigger on that, man. And also, this is an article right here. Shout out to John Sigler from the Saints Wire. He wrote this article based on what Chase Daniels said, former Saints QB, says to watch them on Davante Adams. They think they are close. So a little giblet of information there. He says Saints are a team to watch for Adams. They think they are close, meaning the Saints believe that they're there. Now, of course, Ocho, well, I really don't like Ocho. I ain't gonna lie to you. I don't like Ocho like that. I think he's he's kind of a panderer. I don't like his personality, to be honest with you. But he was saying that he believes that the Saints can't say it. And he says, what you say, play, Pete, which one? Play this, what he's saying. Well, this is what Ocho was saying, that he believes the Saints don't think that they are contenders. And I'm like, what? But I'm gonna play it and I'll give some breakdown to it. Here we go. Y'all put one in the chat if y'all can hear it. I'm gonna play it for y'all. Hold on just a second.
I'm Davante. I'm going somewhere where I can win.
The Saints think they're.
I think they consider too. Though. They ain't bad. This dude's have fun with this shit.
But you know what you think about the Saints versus what DA should think about the Saints. The Saints aren't winning a Super Bowl.
The Saints internally think they're.
You know what I'm saying? Like this, I love Cam Jordan. I love all them. Demario Davis. Love all them boys. But they know they're not winning a Super Bowl. They might make the playoffs, but they're not winning a Super Bowl.
I think the relationship with DC and DA is.
I'll take the Saints. I'm Davante. I'm going somewhere where I can win.
The Saints think they're content.
I think they consider too. Though. They ain't bad. This dude's have fun with this shit.
But you know what you think about the Saints versus what DA should think about the Saints. The Saints aren't winning a Super Bowl.
The Saints internally think they're.
You know what I'm saying? Like this, I love Cam Jordan. I love all them. Demario Davis. Love all.
All right, whatever, man. Shut up. But this is a part of the thought process. A lot of people believe that the Saints aren't winning the Super Bowl, but people say that. I think a lot of the diehards believe that because they're in that show me mind state. You know, over the last 3 years, you know, you put all your heart and your soul into it, only for them to let it down. Like it happened like last week. But people's like, man, Q, come on. We know that they should have spanked it. They're gonna go in there. They're gonna bash the Falcons. The Falcons was been struggling. They stank. They scored like 16 points offensively a game. We can go in there, run the ball, and kick their tails. And then when Taysom got hurt, it all changed, right? Taysom is the Falcons killer. We could not adjust to win the game. But based on what Ocho was saying, most of the Saints believe that they are a Super Bowl team. And listen, I've said this and I'll say it again. The Saints have the talent to win a Super Bowl. They really do. They have the talent. Alvin Kamara, Chris Olave, Rashid Shaheed. They got these guys. These are fantastic. Taysom Hill when he's healthy. All these guys. They have fantastic talent. And the reality is the Saints can win a Super Bowl. They can win a Super Bowl. But there's a lot of things in between there and, here and there for the Saints to get there. And some of this stuff is basically tied to the fact that, man, listen, man, Dennis Allen is not very supported here. I mean, because, and listen, some people won't give him some credit. Listen, if you want to give him credit, give him credit. But a lot of times, man, if you look at Dennis Allen's game, he doesn't exude confidence in anybody. Maybe his team, some of these people, maybe Tyrann Mathieu and Demario Davis, who think the world of him. But for other people that are on that, listen, bro, we done gave you all of this, that, and the third. It's time for you guys to double down and put something on the table. We've seen two really great and stellar wins in weeks 1 and 2 that put Saints people up here. The support base was up here floating on cloud 9. And then it's like the Saints took you to heaven, right? We went to heaven. We seen everything. We chilling. We like, man. And even one of the family members said, man, Q, man, at the same time when the Saints was kicking butt during that period of time, it was no murders in the city of New Orleans. I was like, are you serious? Then looked it up and found that it was true. Like, wow. And I don't believe in coincidences. So that is of interesting phenomena within its own right. But boy, didn't the Saints say, okay, it's time to leave heaven and it's time to take y'all all through a journey of hell. Then we ended up going down there. We ended up going through there to the Philadelphia Eagles and the Atlanta Falcons and losing to them and spotting them 2 touchdowns and then taking the lead back and then pass interference and they kick you into a loss and then you got to hear Low play with the Han song and reverse it. Did they come on there and they like, yeah. So what team do we have here? Which team do we have here? Is the Saint? I asked this question before. Which team is it? Is it the week 1, week 2 team, or is it the week 3, week 4? Which team could the real New Orleans Saints team stand up? Which team is the real team? Which one is it? Because it appears to me through a month, and fam, listen, we had a month worth of action from the NFL from in terms of everything to be able to get a good idea on who's who. You're starting to see, the makings of what teams could be. And that usually happens between 3 and 4, where we about to head into week number 5. So we had a month worth of time to get a full look at our team and even do a monthly report card, which we can, which I'm going to do right now, like a report card of what we seen the Saints happen this week. Well, what are the Saints? Who are the Saints? Which team is it? I don't know. I'm confused by that, but I know for a fact the team is a 500 team. It's a lie. They're a 500 ball club. They had spectacular wins and 2 humiliating, awful, bad taste in your mouth ass losses to the hated rival. And Philly came here. They barely did anything. Then the people kicked Philly's ass last week. And that's what Philadelphia, the real Philadelphia team is right now. They're not that good. But any team, the last couple of weeks we play, we spot them points. We don't run the ball. We look milquetoast. The game plan looks stupid. A couple of observations too, fam, is that Clint Kubiak needs to switch up some stuff. He needs to add some more wrinkles. Clint Kubiak has limitations with different injuries occurring, but see, that's a part of the game. You're not going to always have your best players. You're not going to always have some of your starter lineups. You're going to miss some of them guys. That's why it's very important that you get a depth chart that you can trust in and be able to put in there to win games for you. If you go back and look at the preseason and the training camps when we was going through this, there were all kind of accolades dropped and thrown on these backups. There were. I remember covering them when they was talking about guys like Mason Tipton, who was tearing it up in camp. Remember, Mason Tipton was catching everything, then he got hurt. But he showed the Saints enough, said it's a ball player. Remember how Jordan Mims was tearing it up? Remember how Jacob Kabodi was tearing it up? Now he's gone. The Saints put him on the street. They had guys that were playing their asses off. Anthony Orji was another guy that was stepping up, handling the business. We had some players that really was stepping up, stepping out, and showing off. Some of those guys, Saints not even using them. And that's what my challenge personally to Clint Kubiak is that Clint Kubiak has to get other guys involved because Kamara has multiple injuries. Reports are he has broken ribs, playing with busted ribs, hip pointer, and all this kind of stuff. And you running them heavier than what you ran them in the other game. That don't make any sense to me. Taysom Hill also dealing with injuries on both sides of his body. You can't be doing all that with Taysom Hill. You got to kind of use these guys, but at the same time, share the load with other guys like Jordan Mims, Jamal Williams, who averaged almost 4 yards a carry on the 3 carries that he had. You got to use these guys. And that's the problem with Clint Kubiak. Notice the non-usage of the tight end over the last couple of games and go back and watch the film for the first 2 weeks and see a big difference. That guy was getting every damn body involved in the offense. The tight ends was flowing, the Juwan Johnsons, the Foster Monroes, they were getting going. Everybody was locked in and felt like they were a part of the offense. All of that has changed. Now everything is centered on 1 or 2 or 3 people now. Y'all notice that? It's not the same. The offense is not flowing anymore. And that's due to the point that a lot of NFL teams figured out what the Saints was doing. And really, Clint Kubiak hadn't introduced any more new wrinkles here. That was worth talking about. Whatever he did introduce is ineffective. Now, I did see a lot of extended run plays. We talked about that on Patreon. We talked about the players that stunk. And then also there's the question about, what's going on with some of our starting players. Where are they going to be in time for this game? Are they going to be able to play? Because we've seen guys on defense in particular with Willie Gay out with that hand issue or wrist issue, whatever it is, on the street saying it's some type of wrist issue. But when him out and DeMario with the hamstring tightness, Tyrann Mathieu is, might miss some games. We don't know. But word on the street saying something's up with that. The Saints going to have to dig deep. So there are guys on the practice squad like Jonathan Abrams, Ugo Amadi. Maybe they are looked at. But also, I like DeMarco Jackson, respected DeMarco Jackson, but I thought Anthony Orji should have been the guy in the game next to Pete Werner. I think Anthony Orji really deserved to be in that game. Now, no disrespect to DeMarco. Like, if you go and watch the film, he got swallowed up several times on the play. He got lost in the traffic. He went places he wasn't supposed to go, and that's just the inexperience of a young linebacker. But something's different about Anthony Orji, man. Something's different about that kid. It's something different about that guy. But it's like I said, man, these are the trying times, and us as a team, we got to figure out a way to win, fam. So we got KC, then Tampa Bay behind them. Tampa Bay playing good ball. Saints gonna have to lock in, man. We got to do it. All right. Any questions, fam? I got a timer on my stuff. I'm trying to get more discipline here. I don't know if Pammy in here, but I think I ain't tell her to put the clock on, but I put the clock on myself tonight. So I got about 15 minutes more before I get out of here. So y'all, if y'all have any questions, man, I appreciate all y'all being here. Please hit the like button if you hadn't had an opportunity. Hit the like button, man, for your boy, man, and feel free to share the show on your social media feed. We up in this thing, Sports Coma representing. Any questions? All right, what's up, fam? What's up, Trey? Shout out to Trey, man. I said, what's up, Antoinette? Good to see you in the stream as well. Much love to you, Queen. All right, brother Slim in this thing. I see you, Pammy. I see you. JT says, I'm saying it again, Q. We go as far as your QB take you. Derek can't win a game for you. Yeah, you might have something there, brother JT. But the thing is, too, also, it's up to the coaches, too, to understand the limitations of the player. I know for a fact that Derek Carr doesn't know enough offense to go out there and win a game by itself, like him just going out there and throwing and all that kind of stuff. That's why I said play action Carr is the better guy, because when you give him the access to the play action game, man, that dude's unstoppable. When you give him the play action, he gets in the play action bag, he turns it to somebody else, man. That's where he is currently. Now, maybe some people know Derek Carr from the past in terms of what he did somewhere else in a different system, all this kind of stuff. But right now, in terms of 2024, right now, today at 9:14 Central Time on my clock, Derek Carr is a play action quarterback, a really good one. And we can't seem to get into our running attack to make it effective enough to scare the defense into figuring out what we're going to do. And it looks bad. Who that says you think Derek Carr and Dennis Allen will allow this team to win big games? If we can, bro, listen, if we flow through the offense like we're supposed to, and Clint Kubiak really has to diversify his depth chart. He has to use Jordan Mims. He has to use these other guys. He has to use Dallin Hawker. Dallin Hawker can help the Saints. I know he's inexperienced, but he could catch the ball. He can block. You might have to use Dallin Hawker. You might have to use these other guys. Juwan Johnson was another guy that was awful, fam. Juwan Johnson was awful last game. If you go back and we, look at the tape, Trevor Penning was funky. Juwan Johnson was awful. He was getting his ass handed to him on that interception where the ball was bopped up by Derek Carr because he tried to side on the ball around Matt Judon and it got popped up. If he had managed to complete that throw, that ball probably would have been intercepted, because Juwan Johnson was supposed to get out there and block down the free Chris Olave, because Chris Olave was supposed to be the receiver of the screen play. But if you go back and watch the play, the defensive back had broke through because Juwan Johnson missed the block, and he was there at the spot where he knew where to be at the ball. So even if Derek Carr had thrown that ball that way, more than likely it'd have been intercepted. Now, it probably wouldn't have been a pick six, but that guy was there. If you study the tape, go back and look at it. We did it on Patreon. I say, fam, if it was even to get that ball around there, that defensive back was there because Juwan Johnson blew the block. He was awful. It was a stupid play Juwan Johnson did where he went and caught the ball. The guy threw the ball, Carr threw him the ball toward the right sideline. He didn't even know where his feet was. Had he caught the ball and knew where his feet was, the guy that was the safety, the defensive back that was coming to him was like 3 to 4 yards away from him. He could have made a play and picked up the first down or got close, dragged the guy, do something. He didn't even know where his feet were. And I like Juwan Johnson, but he played a horrible, game last week. He was terrible on film. He was terrible, man. He was missing blocks, getting pushed on his ass. All of that. I was like, man, this is awful. I was getting pissed watching it. All right, what's up, Mark? He said, what up, Q? The reality is Carr plays good when he has protection. He's strictly a pocket passer in the play action. Yeah, it's when he is at his best. No all-line, a broken Carr, LOL. That's what I'm saying, though, bro. But That y'all not saying nothing wrong about Derek Carr. That's the truth about some quarterbacks. They need certain things to be right for them to compete. Like there was times when we watched the film, Derek Carr had an opportunity. He was in a shotgun. Like it was the play when he got sacked. Carr had enough time to make a throw because you had two guys leaking out there. You had Chris Olave and you had Elvin Kamara. And he just, for whatever reason, just pulled the ball down. He had room. He seen the guy coming. He had time, but he just pulled the ball down. I was like, why did he do that? But he did it. He doesn't handle pressure well. And I don't know if he's entirely comfortable behind that line. And that's right. When the line plays well, he's confident. But when he gets knocked on his ass and all that, I could see his eyes drop from out there to here, and he starts vocalizing. He does that. He doesn't handle the pressure well, and that's not a knock on him. It's just what his tendencies are. When the line, when shit break down and see Derek Carr can move, they may have to participate in rollout plays where they moving Carr from one side to another, right? Or misdirection plays when he's on the move. So he can kind of move around and make plays because he have a pair of wheels on him where he can move. He ain't the fastest quarterback in the world, but he can pick up 5 yards for you if you need him to. Slide down, pick up 5. He can do that 2 or 3 times a game. Just slide, don't take the hit, whatever. But that's also a smart play to do too for a person that's limited in what the offense is about, right? Because it does cut off half the field and make his options a lot simpler. So he don't have to progress through everything, right? So, I mean, these are options that we can kind of look at. Who that says, how can we justify paying Davante, though, given our already bad cap situation? That's the point, bro. Like we talked about that. It's all about Mickey Loomis. It's all about slick Mickey Loomis and whether or not he gets talked out of being the play. Because if Derek Carr goes to Mickey Loomis and says, Derek Carr goes to Dennis Allen and says, hey, man, can we make this happen? And Mickey Loomis say, do you want him? And Mickey Loomis will do what he always does. He's not going to talk him out of it. He's going to see if he can try to make it work. If Derek Carr and Dennis Allen wants him, you think Mickey Loomis tells him no? My experience says no. He always does that. Like I said, we could not afford Derek Carr, but we got him. We got the guy. We got his ass. I know, Pammy. I know I'm on the clock. I know. My personal clock says I got about 9 minutes left here, so I'm going to try to hurry up through this. Tuck says, Q, have you heard the song Torn Between Two Lovers? That reminds me of Davante, Carr, and Rodgers. Indeed, huh? Pete says, Q, why aren't they using the 2 tight? I don't know, bro. I don't know. The tight ends like with Foster Monroe, who was getting it handed to him, too. He's just not as bad as with Juwan Johnson and Trevor Penning. They looked awful in that game, man. But it's a certain confidence and cockiness that I haven't seen. They haven't exhibited over the last couple of games. And Clint Kubiak, it just appears like my personal thought process on Clint Kubiak after a month worth of games is that Clint Kubiak, this is the term I'll use when Taysom Hill is away. Clint Kubiak can't call a play. When Taysom's away, Clint Kubiak can't call a play. That's what for a month worth of games, that's what I came up with. When Taysom's away, Clint Kubiak can't call a play. He needs them dudes to be healthy, to be able to utilize. If we had Taysom for that whole Falcons game, we'd have won that game. Taysom had 2 touchdowns in the game. Hell yeah. It was like Dennis Allen talking at the end of the press conference. Oh, guess what? I didn't see any real impact. Well, that's because you're blind and crazy. He had 2 touchdowns in that game. And both of those touchdowns were on the goal line situations where he busted in there and got the goddamn touchdowns. If he didn't lose, if Taysom was still healthy, they beat the Falcons. This is real, fam. Think about it. I'm not taking a slight at Clint Kubiak, but this is real. Think about it. When Taysom's away, Clint Kubiak can't call a play. What he'll do is when Taysom is out, the guy will overuse Elvin Kamara. And Kamara dealing with multiple injuries, and I don't give a damn. That's what painkiller for. Get your ass in there and get them shots. Take 3 of them if you need them. I do. No. You picked these guys, the Jordan Mims and all these other guys. You picked them and said, these are my guys for my 53-man roster. You picked them. I didn't pick them. I agree for their talent. I didn't pick them. He did. So use them. Use the guys that you picked, that you believed in. When people were asking you questions 1,000 times, hey, man, you sure you don't need nobody else? You sure you all right with that? You sure you don't want to go talk to Jimmy Graham? He out there mauling around in the water. You sure you don't want him? We can send him a private plane and go pick him up. Or whoever else we need. They did, oh, we good. We good. So if we good, then go do what you're supposed to do and get all them guys involved, man. Come on. That's what it come down to. We good. All right, Rose says, I'm just saying, all let's talk about O-line and that ship is sailed. You got to find good offensive line. Nobody trading good offensive linemen. Bro, they pick who they got. Remember, we asked John Benton and all of that. Hey, the reporters did a wonderful job of asking about who we have. Is this guy the right guy? Is this the right guy? John Benton says, yes, we have the right guys. And then we put Ali Udo in there. Ali Udo get his ass handed to him. And like I said, Ali Udo must stand for he who is born in the porta potty, because he was crap. He was crap. He got pushed around. Never seen a guy that's 6'3", 6'4", that big get pushed around like he is like he's stuffed with expensive feathers from Arabia somewhere. I don't get it. Like he was a old vending machine on wheels. On some of the best grease wheels that you could possibly have, some super grease on them wheels. You'd be able to babies pushing the damn vending machines around. It was just amazing. It was crazy watching that. 504 Code says, question for Mickey Q, will the price of nachos increase? Hell, them nachos is high as hell right now, brother. You know they're gonna go up. They don't lose no money, brother. They only make a profit. They never go backwards. That's one thing about the game, bro. The game, they got the game set up where they never take a loss. That's why I was telling y'all, man, it's crazy. It's crazy. Charles says, Q, would you rather have a salary cap issue with a Super Bowl or money to spend no Super Bowl? Because if we can get Adams, our Super Bowl chances go up. Your chances definitely go up, bro. The only thing is, it goes against the philosophy of what Mickey was saying, because he didn't want to do these type of moves. He was being hesitant about paying people like AK-41. Paulson Adebo's a guy that you got to look at paying. He did give Pete Werner the contract. There's several Saints on prove-it deals. The Saints are tanked in. They're focused in on what they need to do. The offense does need a jolt. They could use a Davante Adams here. They really could. But I would if it's a 2-year window, bro, you got a 2-year window, go all in, man. Go all in. All right, Charles says, Q, would you rather have, okay, I think y'all just answered that. Thank you, bro. Appreciate that. All right. Yeah. Q, he says, Q, this is no. Clint Kubiak's okay. He's okay. He's a good player. Yes, I did want him because he's better than Pete Carmichael. He's better than the mouse Pete Carmichael. He is. Everybody in the chat would admit to that. That Clint, even though when Taysom away, Clint Kubiak can't call a play, and he kind of looks like Pete Carmichael, I still would prefer Clint Kubiak over Pete Carmichael, because at least I know that Clint Kubiak will eventually fix what goes on. He has to adjust to it. Even Dennis Allen alluded to it when on the last press conference. It took him 2 weeks to get there, but eventually he did say, hey, man, we got to use other people, not name Elvin Kamara, blah, 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 blah. You know, we said that too. Like, bro, diversify your play calling, dude. Introduce new wrinkles, get other guys involved. That's what it's going to take, because it's going to only get harder, because other teams have enough tape to study on. You know what you like. They know the tendencies of your quarterback. They know that if they stop you from running the ball, Carr is going to have difficulty. You might want to introduce some different stuff right here. So this is where the wrinkle's supposed to be introduced after a month worth of football, you hope. Yeah, we got to keep it going, man. Yeah, I promise you the family members prefer Clint over Clint Carmichael. Oh man, y'all just started some shit. Clint Carmichael. Oh man, that's terrible. Student, you're wrong for that, man. You're wrong, student. Student says Clint Carmichael. Oh man, that's awful. But that does fit with Taysom's away. Clint Kubiak can't call a play. That's terrible. Y'all wrong for that, man. You can't say that. We can't do that. All right, we can't bring that back, man. We can't do that, man. We don't want that sorry ass. Let him stay up there with Sean Payton. All right. Says I didn't see any injury report. Q, can you run the who was limited and fully today? Nah, we won't. Yeah, appreciate you, bro. No, we're not going to get an injury report until Thursday because we're playing Monday night. So we're not going to get that until tomorrow. So we'll be covering that. That's right. Yes, Gregory says Pete Kubiak. I ain't gonna play with y'all on that, man. I'm about to get out of here, man. Charles says Q, I will get rid of Paulson. Okay, well, yeah. Kool-Aid pay number 2 cornerback. No need to pay a Debo. Yeah, well, there you go. Also, people's thinking about for them getting from away from Marshawn Lattimore, and all this kind of stuff. But it's a lot of tough calls to make right there, man. All right, Carmichael 2.0. He ain't no. I think he's gonna do it, man. I think he's gonna change the game. Yeah, you're right. T-Mom says we're saying that since yeah. Shout out to you. All right. So I don't know if y'all can hear that. I know I can hear that shit. That was loud right there. That's my little clock I had. But listen, fam, I'm gonna get out on that. Listen, I appreciate all of y'all for being in the stream. Y'all do me a service. Please feel free to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. By all means, feel free to share the show. Clint Carmichael. Pete Kubiak. Is that Gary Kubiak's son? Pete Kubiak. And what's the other one? Clint Carmichael. Did y'all hear that? Y'all put one in the chat. Did y'all hear that annoying ass ring? Did y'all hear that? Put one if y'all heard that. I think Clint. Yeah. Julius, tell him, man. I think Clint will be fine. Yeah, I think he would be all right. Oh, y'all heard that? Y'all heard that loud ass thing? Damn. Okay, thank y'all, man. I didn't think y'all heard that. Appreciate it. All right, what's up, T. Will? Yeah, man. Damn. Yeah, there you go. Okay, there you go, Pammy. All right, Pammy. All right. So I'm tripping on that. Pete Carmichael, Pete Kubiak, and Clint Carmichael. Y'all guys are hilarious, man. Hilarious. All right, I'm out, man. I'm gonna holler at y'all. Y'all hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Feel free to share the show on your social media feed. Also, give some love to our sponsors in the description section, sponsoring the broadcast. Mint Mobile. You need a good service, cheap phones. Check out Mint Mobile. The link's in the description section. Teach Henley, skin products for men. Man, get your player game on. It's heavily endorsed by Reverend Saint. The link is in the description section. 20% off, and Bet Online is also there. So anyway, with that being said, I'm out. Much love. I'll see you guys on Thursday. Peace. And who that take?
Yeah. Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Long as I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. Sports Coma, yeah, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Sports Coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that. Welcome. Somebody please better help. Running this thing like Elf. I thank God every day I'm not a felt. Go to YouTube Live with Big Q and the guys. If you ain't ride or die, the bandwagon get flipped. Been marching in, that was way for the ring. I was yelling out your shame for the championship. Bucking on town, duck down. Falcons, pluck, get shut down. Panthers ain't much touchdown. The vision really belong to us now. So much hate on the Saints, you could probably tell. Ever since Bounty Gate hit the NFL, when things seem fishy and you probably smell the crooked referees on Roger Goodell. Yeah, probably like this, and I'm a who that. Every day I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. It's the Sports Coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like this, and I'm a who that. It's the Sports Coma, this is where we do that.
listening to the Sports Coma
Yeah.
with Big Q and the guys on the
All right.
PRO Media
Let's go.
Network.
Who that say they gonna beat them Saints? Who that? Who that? Who that say they gonna beat them Saints? Who that? Who that? Who that say they gonna beat them Saints? Who that?
Bet Online is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for everything football. Bet Online has every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads to bet on during games. Think you know your stuff? Get in on our $200,000 mega contest and pick 5 games against the spread every week for your chance at weekly prizes and a share of $200,000. When the game's over, head on over to our online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker, or unwind with over 150 slot games. Head to the website today to get in on the action. Bet Online. The game starts here.
WhoThatDaily.com. That's right, WhoThatDaily.com. Your one-stop shop for everything New Orleans Saints, New Orleans Pelicans, LSU Tigers, even the top flight boxing news. So if you're a Who That and you're looking for a place to stay up on your team, WhoThatDaily.com is your site. The WhoThatDaily.com for the sport Who That in all of us. That's right, the Pro Shop is the platform store where you can go and buy all the latest merch to support the platform. Available at the Pro Shops, we have dozens of hundreds of products available for you and your family. Unisex tees for men and women, hoodies and sweatshirts, tank tops, kids and baby items, long sleeve tees, mugs, pillows, wall art, bath bedding, face masks, phone cases, stickers, bags, fanny packs, socks, hats, and many other items. Please feel free to check out the Pro Shops. The link is in the description section below.